Well, not very good news for Google, as yet another major security breach has hit. Google now warning of a high severity danger for billions of users on their Google Chrome browser having a security flaw. Also, by the way, a massive lawsuit hitting Google because anyone who's ever used Google Incognito mode, you had the mode where you definitely don't watch those videos or whatever. Well, it turns out Google has been tracking all of that data too. And it looks like they're been hit with a major lawsuit. And if you've ever used incognito mode, I guess you could get up to $5,000. So we're going to take a look at all that. But this just drives home the data security issue out there, the most important thing out there. I mean, look, everyone's social security numbers got leaked last week and everyone just kind of moved on from that. That's why I use Aura, and that's who's sponsoring this video. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Aura. It's rare when I get to do an ad read for a product that I use every day and that I love, and today that's both. Aura is a product that I absolutely love, and it's really important timing to be talking about them because hackers may have just stolen, or it's now been confirmed, all social security numbers of every American. Over 2.9 billion records were stolen from the national public data. And what I like about Aura is that it's actively seeking the web for any of that information to surface. In fact, it has already removed me from many websites and databases that had data from that latest breach on me in them. I had a text within hours, I believe, of the breach where they had found my data out there, and I couldn't believe how effective it is. I absolutely love Aura. If you weren't taking precautions with your personal information online before, this should be a huge wake-up call. You've never been more vulnerable online than you are right now. But I'm not too worried because I use Aura. Aura alerts me if they find my phone number, my email address, my social security number, or anything like that on the dark web. They let me know fast if anyone tries to use this information to access my credit or my bank accounts. They give me up to $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen. They also provide a bunch of other features to help you feel safe online. I've been using Aura for a very long time now, and I'm extremely satisfied with it. You can go to my link, aura.com/thequartering, to try it for free for 14 days. That'll be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data is floating around out there on the web. I highly recommend you do it right now because not only is the national public data out there and they're not going to do anything to help you, they probably aren't even going to face any repercussions for this leak. I'm not leaving myself and my family vulnerable to data breaches, and if you don't want to either, go to aura.com/thequartering to try 2 weeks for free. Absolutely love Aura. Everyone should use that service. I've been extremely happy with it, with their credit monitoring and all that kind of stuff too. Makes me feel secure about, everyone just leaking our data out there. A new update patches 4 bugs in Google Chrome. A string of just 11 digits could indicate you're still at risk. Chrome has become a common target for attackers. It's used by nearly 3.5 billion people, making it one of the most popular browsers in the world. The latest update, which was announced yesterday, fixes 4 vulnerabilities in the desktop version of the browser. Of these, 2 are flaws in Google's own open source JavaScript, V8. V8 powers Chrome and is especially attractive target for attackers, as flaws provide hackers an easy way to deliver you malware. 2 other exploits fall under the category of heap buffer overflows. The type of bug affects Skia, the graphics library used to render images in Chrome. A remote attacker can use the loophole to execute unauthorized code or access your sensitive data. Google engineers have said they have patched the issues and encourage users to check their browsers. Well, yeah, why wouldn't they just push out an update for that? Why would you just allow everyone to continue to stay vulnerable? By the way, users on extended, once the update's available, so obviously if you still use Chrome, check that out. But even bigger now, it looks like, ever use Google Chrome in incognito mode? You could be entitled to up to $5,000 in compensation. Here's how to claim it. Attorneys have put out an open call for users to join their class action lawsuit against Google for any privacy rights violations by its Chrome browser's incognito mode. Plaintiffs' attorneys announced on X that any user of Chrome's browser who went incognito between 2016 and 2023, which is basically everyone who uses Chrome, may be entitled for $5,000 compensation based on California statutory damages available for privacy violations. I'm putting my name in. Heck, I'll take $5,000. I'll take $1,000. I have to get some winter tires, so that's a thing. At the heart of a civil action is the claim that Google collected Incognito users' personal information without their permission, even after users chose not to synchronize their browsers with Google accounts like Gmail. Have you ever had an email spam come through or a Google ad that was like, hey, wait a minute, I don't think I ever searched for that. How did it know I was thinking about that? Well, it's because for years, Google has been telling you that they're going to, keep you, they're not going to record you and they're not going to keep your data on file, while doing the exact opposite. Although the case was brought to court under California's Invasion of Privacy Act, as Google's terms of service specify, California law is the governing law for its firm's activities. Any and all Google Chrome users across the entire United States may qualify. Here's what you need to know to join the class action lawsuit and how you and other Incognito users can determine whether or not you qualify. Well, it looks like the revised case class action lawsuit follows a U.S. appeals court decision last week, Tuesday, August 20th, which declared that Chrome users who claim Google collected their personal information without permission are allowed to sue for damages. The suit, which had initially sought at least $5 billion, has been on pause since late December 2023 following a preliminary settlement. Scottsdale, Arizona-based lawyer Don Bivens, who put out the call for new plaintiffs last week, joins a host of firms suing Google over the issues with its ostensibly privacy-protected browsing featuring incognito mode. This past April, the law firm behind the original litigation filed in 2020 demanded $217 million in legal fees, of course. Most of these class action lawsuits are just about lawyers getting rich. But I mean, if you can get $5,000 out of it, why not? According to Bloomberg Law, these lawyers claim they have worked a staggering 80,000 cumulative hours on the case. I'm sure. Again, lawyers be lawyering. But what's important that you remember is that Google continues to collect your data even when they say you're not. Neither Google nor its lawyers responded to requests for comments. However, a new Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals Rule 3-0 decision came despite Google's agreement last year to destroy billions of records in order to settle the original lawsuit. The lower court judge had concluded that Google's general privacy policy allowing data collection governed because the Mountain View, California-based firm had been collecting plaintiffs' information regardless of which browsers they even used. In Tuesday's decision, Circuit Court Judge Milan Smith called that focus misplaced. Here, Google had a general privacy disclosure, yet promoted Chrome by suggesting that certain information would not be sent to Google unless a user turned on sync. A reasonable user would not necessarily understand that they were, in fact, consenting to the data collection issues. Google's settlement related to the incognito lets users sue the company individually for damages. Tens of thousands of users in California alone have already done so in the state's courts. Absolutely love it. Probably by the end, you'll get a check in the mail for 25 cents. Maybe. But what's more concerning is that ransomware gang targets Google Chrome users in surprise new twist threat. This is updated yesterday or 2 days ago. A Russian-linked cybercrime group thought to be behind the June attacks that caused chaos at a number of UK hospitals in June have now been caught stealing credentials stored within Google Chrome browsers in a surprise new twist to a ransomware attack. So yet another Google Chrome security issue. This says the attack that the researchers analyzed took place back in July after a London hospital incident, but now they're using it against Google Chrome. After an extended dwell period, however, the attackers seem to move more laterally in order to comprise a domain controller and edit the domain policy to include a script that would attempt to harvest credentials stored in all Chrome browsers alongside another that contained the commands to execute it. This combination resulted in the harvesting of credentials saved in Chrome browsers on machines stored to the network. The researchers said, and the nature of the scripts in the group policy meant that they would execute on each client machine that was still logged in. I mean, Google Chrome, anytime you have a software that's, basically used by, that's a default, especially one that's used by governments and stuff like that, it's going to be ripe for attacks, and very few softwares are immune to this type of thing. But you see here, new Google Chrome deadline, this from yesterday, 21 days to update or delete your entire browser. Here we go again. For the second time in 3 months, the US government has warned the world's most popular browser is known to be under attack. Federal employees have just 21 days to update their browsers or stop using them completely. Given Chrome's 2 billion plus desktop users, that's a big deal. Should really apply to all users. There's also a new nasty sting in the tail that has just come out, according to U.S. Cybersecurity Agency. It also contains a new type of confusion vulnerability with HTML. Nasty surprises that Google has suddenly added a second attack warning. Yikes. I think that when the government itself says, hey, we can't use, here's CISA Cyber. We've added Google Chrome V8 inappropriate implementation vulnerability to our known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. Delete your Chrome browser. I mean, yikes. What do I use? Well, I happen to use Brave. This is not an endorsement. There's lots of browsers out there. Firefox I used to use, but they're run by woke weirdos. So it's difficult to say exactly. You can still use Chrome, but obviously you want to stay on top of updates. You want to stay on top of updates constantly because it appears that Chrome is constantly getting caught up. But not good news for Google at all. Hope you enjoyed this video. Get your $5 grand, update your Google Chrome browser, stay safe, and we'll talk to you again real soon.